vanishing trails. Escaping the illusion. Jack stood determined, his mind racing with thoughts of escape. The other alien captives had already begun their part of the plan, creating the necessary distraction. He took a deep breath and made his move, sprinting through the corridors towards the hangar. Suddenly, alarms blared, and harsh, red lights flooded the hallways. The aliens were alerted to their escape attempt. Jack ran faster, his heart pounding in his chest. He rounded a corner and saw the hangar doors in sight, but just as he approached, a force field snapped into place, blocking his path. Alien guards, with their tall, slender bodies and piercing eyes, closed in around him. Jack fought back, swinging his fists and kicking out in desperation, but the guards were too strong. They overpowered him, restraining his limbs with an unyielding grip. "No! Let me go!" Jack screamed, thrashing against their hold. His attempts were futile. The guards began dragging him back down the corridor, their grip like iron. As they moved, the surroundings began to shift. The metallic walls of the alien facility dissolved into a softer, more familiar environment. The harsh lights dimmed, replaced by the warm glow of fluorescent bulbs. Jack blinked, disoriented, as the scene changed around him. He was no longer in an alien spaceship. Instead, he found himself in a sterile, white hallway with linoleum floors and plain doors. The guards dragging him were now dressed in white uniforms, their faces human, but their eyes filled with a professional detachment. "Jack, calm down," one of the men said gently. "You're safe now." Jack's struggling ceased as he looked around, trying to make sense of what he was seeing. The memories of the hike, the forest, the disappearances, it all began to blur and fade. He glanced down the hallway and saw a garden through a window, the same garden he and his friends had believed to be a vast, twisting forest. Where am I?" Jack asked, his voice trembling. "You're at Pinewood Mental Health Facility," the nurse replied. "You've been here for some time. You've had a break from reality, but we're here to help you." Jack's mind whirled as he was led back to his room. His friends' faces flashed before his eyes. Emily, Mike, Lisa, Ben, Sarah, Rachel, and Tom. They were all here, not in a forest, but in a garden, not hiking but walking the grounds of the institution. As they reached his room, Jack saw his friends, each in their own rooms or walking the hallways, looking just as lost and confused as he felt. The nurse gently guided him inside and helped him onto the bed. As the nurse gently guided Jack back to his room and helped him onto the bed, she spoke softly, "Rest now, Jack. Everything's going to be all right." Jack lay back, his eyes staring at the ceiling, trying to process the reality of his situation. The nurse stepped out of the room, and Jack heard the click of the door closing behind her. He closed his eyes, exhaustion and confusion washing over him. He vowed to fight for his reality, to find a way back to his friends in this world. But just as he began to drift into sleep, a strange sensation pulled him back to consciousness. He opened his eyes and looked toward the door. To his horror, the nurse's form shimmered and warped. Her human features elongated and morphed into the familiar, unsettling visage of an alien observer. The sterile, white walls of the mental institution began to ripple and dissolve, revealing the cold, metallic interior of the alien facility once more. Jack's heart raced as the reality he thought he had grasped slipped away like sand through his fingers. The alien nurse turned to face him, her unblinking eyes locking onto his. "Rest now, Jack," she repeated, her voice now resonating with an eerie, otherworldly echo. "Everything's going to be all right." As sleep claimed him once more, Jack's mind teetered on the edge of madness, caught between two worlds, one a cruel experiment, the other an elusive reality. He hoped that this time, he would truly wake up and find the truth behind the nightmare.